Feel free to join into the chat. I am not sure how much I'll be checking in on the chat, but I think I'll pull out the laptop to be able to peruse that periodically so that as you have commentary, I can see what's going on. My project today is I'm trying to flatten these, not really stumps, I guess, but flatten some portions of the trunk of the willow tree that I cut up. And I want to use these for seeding around the fire pit. So that is my plan, and see what we can do about getting it done. Right now I'm just getting the laptop set up, and so that I'll be able to see what all you guys have going on in the chat. And almost there. Live. And there we go. All right. So, all right, I think I can get going. Let me just tell you what the setup is here. This came from the same tree as this. The stump is over here. I've almost got it all removed. Getting really close. I've just made my own little router sled here. I'm just using some aluminum angle iron, and then I got some plywood that makes up my my edging, or my frame here. Just got some sawhorses, obviously the work piece. The bottom is not flat, and so I've just got some shims in there on either side to try and make sure it's staying somewhat level. I made a little platform, and those are all each of the 2x3 stands is just over 10 inches, so that should be relatively flat and level. So now I'm just gonna go to work using this old Bosch 1615 EVS. I bought this thing used, and haven't really used it too much so far, so we'll see how it does. And all right, here goes. I'm just going really slowly, one step at a time, using the plunge router mechanism. There's this little deal here, so I'm just going to go whatever that is, 1/4 inch or whatever at a time. So I'm taking off very little, trying to not tax my router very much at all. So here we go, one step down. All right. Looks like everything else is lower than that. So go down another step here. I'm actually going to scoot this over a little. Well, actually, no, I'm not, because I've already got that shimmed. So, and it's heavy. And as I do these passes, I don't want to take more than a half of what my bit has already taken. It's a pretty good sized bit. So it's not taking me too long to remove a good amount of material here. Guess it helps if I go all the way down before I start going. I want to be careful on my edge here not to go over, because I don't have anything protecting it from going over, so I just need to be cognizant of that. All right, let's check the old. Hey, Katie Ross, good to see you. Gary Holcomb, hello. Caffeinated Thoughts, careful. I'm trying to be careful. Blue 8309, where it's still day for me. Yeah, I'm in, and Blue, you have the same, same person, same question. Where are you from? I am in the great state of Idaho in the United States. So we live near Boise in Idaho. I was born and raised in Boise. Love it here. But I think all of my fellow Idaho residents don't want me to let you guys know how awesome it is here. So they don't really want more people moving here. But I think new people are great. All right, so I'm going down one more step here. I didn't like it. I think maybe I was trying to take off a little too much width on that one. So try it again. All right. Okay. Moving right along. And not sure how well you can see the progress so far, but how we're doing so far. Get you a little bit closer to the action. Felt like it wasn't cutting anything, and I realized, yeah, it's not, because I didn't put it all the way down. Like, no wonder it's not cutting anything. It's weird. Oh, that might be the limit of my plunge. So all right. Okay, I'm going to unplug the router and adjust my bit so I can get a little bit more depth without having to adjust everything else. All right, router unplugged. And all right. That is not. All right, let me grab something real quick. All right. All right, so let's see if that works better. And All right, I'll reset my depth gauge. And come over here to the high point. And well, doesn't look like that's really going to give me much more than I was hoping for. All right. So, all right, here we go. Got to plug it back in first. I think I'm just going to go this direction. All right. Take the depth gauge out of it and just go down as far as it'll let me. Huh. I think I know why I was able to get this used for so cheap. The plunge doesn't stay plunged all the way down. So I'm setting it down as far as it'll go, but it's not staying there. So I'm going to go back a little bit and see if I can redo some of that. All right, so that's as low as I can go with this setting. It's not quite leveled all the way, so I'm thinking I might just grab another sheet of plywood, or another segment of plywood anyway, and plop that down, move this guy off, which is heavy. That'll suck. But it'll make it so that I can actually do stuff. So let me go grab some more plywood to put underneath. And I need something that is wide enough to support it, but not so wide that it'll be wider than this current setup. So hopefully this will work. I'm not confident that it'll be wide enough, but let's give it a try. I'm going to unplug the router while I make these adjustments. Just set it over here on the nearby table. Easier to set it down when the plunge is not engaged. Move this over and take out my shims. Yeah, see, I've got this huge gouge to take care of on the other side. So, all right, put plywood there. Yeah, that's not nearly as wide, is it? Also not as deep as maybe I'd like, but you know, I could cut something real quick. That would be, let's see if this will work. I've got this old shipping, ripped this down from a shipping container, but it's got a bunch of foam in it. That gives me more height. I don't need that much length or width. And let's see, so if I cut it down to get rid of that foam, then it should work. So I'm going to cut it on the table saw real quick. And hoping that this will be an appropriate width to be able to finish the job. All right. Sorry, I'm not taking you with me on the journey, but I'll be hopefully done with this quickly and back with you. So. One more cut. Flipping it over. And there we have it. All right, hopefully I measured properly by eyeballing it. See if that works. Is that going to be, is that spreading them too far away? See if my, oh, too far. Need to trim off a little bit more of this guy. So I will be right back. Or did I have the wrong side down? This side. Which side did I have down? Short or the long? Either way, the short is too long. So I'll be right back. All right, here we go again. Cut number 2 or 3, I guess. That should be enough, I hope. Yep, that is definitely small enough. Now, can I get this guy back on there? All right. All right. So he is back. Let me shim him back up here. All right. And reposition the sawhorses. All right, hopefully it's not taller than the sled now, but I have a feeling it is. Yep. All right, so I'm going to let's see. If I just add a rail here, that'll bring this up a little bit. And this could still ride on that. So let me think of what I could do for a rail. So I just need something this tall. Maybe I can just grab those little offcuts of plywood. That I just made. and secure them into the if I secure those into the sawhorse, I think that should work. So let me get some appropriate screws. Got my plywood. And I'm back on my way. Hopefully this works. I just put a rail there and a rail there. Does that make it tall enough? I think it's close enough. So I'm going to try it. All right. And see. Don't think there's anything particularly valuable on the underside of the sawhorses. So I think these are supposed to be self-drilling, but you know, I'm just gonna do some just gonna pre-drill into that plywood so that I'm not making a mess of things, because I've already made enough of a mess. All right. So right about there. Try to center. And then just put that in like that. And of course, I made the hole too big into there, of course. So I'm just going to drill it here. Okay. No, that can go through. And I'll just drill that into sawhorse. Okay. And I'll put in a new hole here. That does not correspond with either of the holes I made before. And I'm feeling a bit rushed because I'm running out of daylight here. Hoping to get this project done before the end of the day. And I still can, but all right. All right. And I'll just drill that right there. Hope I don't ever need to return these sawhorses to the store, because I think once you put a bunch of holes in them, maybe they're less likely to accept them back on return. Okay. And right about there. And All right, so I countersunk those so that they will not be causing problems with my router sled. Don't want those bumping into the don't want the router sled getting caught up on the screws there. And hopefully that gives me enough height so that my router sled can move freely over the top now. And there we go. And that's pretty close. All right. Reintroduce the router. If I can. All right. And reset my depth gauge here. All right. Plug it back in. All right. Let's see if this will work. I think it is a little too high still, but the router is taking care of that. So once I get down to a level height, it should be fine. Thought I saw some rocking from that sawhorse, which did not excite me. And there's definitely some rocking going on there. So those sawhorses are on the way in. And oh, you know what? My new plywood is still, oh, it's fine. I just need to shift it over this way. There we go. So that this guy can get in closer and not be rocking around. Make sure we're still shimmed. All right. There we go. All right. You go down a couple of levels on the depth gauge here. And hopefully that locks in properly. Maybe I'm taking off more than I should. Famous last words, right? Maybe I'm taking off more than I should. seeing that still sticking on that screw, even though I countersunk it. All right, so that is pretty close to level. I'm gonna churn this a little bit without hopefully destroying the setup, so that I can get a better angle on these edges. All right, that's not working very well. All right, I'm gonna move stuff out of the way before I break things and injure myself. Usually, I wait until after I've broken things and injured myself. So I don't know if you can see that little lip there. I didn't feel comfortable getting any closer to the edge because I didn't want the sled to fall over. So there we go. All right, that should work. And then just need to shim this guy back up. All right. Let's see. Shim. There. And there. All right, that should work. Starting to get a bit darker here. I don't know how well you can see still, but I've also got a bunch of shavings and sawdust at my feet, making things a little bit more complicated. All right. Go. Actually, see if I can shift. There we go. And then reshim. All right. All right, that should be good. All right. Plugging back in. Let's see if I can get you some more light. Get me some more light too, because looks like it might actually be easier for you guys to see what I'm doing than for me to see, based on how the camera's looking. All right, here we go. All right. Got daughters messing with me here. Am I the only one that ever has daughters messing around? All right. So it's not as clean as I'd like it to be, but it's working. And it's still a little bit lower over here. I think part of the issue is that when I shifted it, I shimmed it differently than I had it shimmed before. And so these, you can kind of see these lines here were from when I had it positioned like that. And there's some, the router marks here that are the newer lines. So that's probably good enough for my purposes of using it for a seeding at the fire pit. But I think I'm going to try to go one more level down on the plunge on the depth gauge and see if we can't get just a little bit more uniform so we don't have quite so much ridges and stuff. Probably you can't feel it like I can, but there are some ridges here that I'm going to try to take it a little nicer and easier, and hopefully get a nicer end result here. Also, I think I'll just go first pass this way and then just bring it back so that I'm always going this direction as I'm making my cuts. And I'll also try to do a little bit smaller increments so that I'm not chunking off as much as I was earlier. All right, so that's a lot better. It's still lower over here than it is over here. Again, because I think of the adjusted shim. But try not to get my shadow in there. But it's getting to be pretty nice. That's probably plenty good enough to sit on around the campfire. So you wouldn't call that good. And getting dark. So even if it's not good, it's probably good enough. So, all right. Let's see. Oh, looks like I've got some comments here that I hadn't noticed before. See. Hey, Bear and Boss Lady. It is not cottonwood. This is willow. I cut down the willow recently. And let me see if I can. It's too dark to show you the current state of the stump. Here's a big old chunk of the remaining willow. And here is the stump. And yeah, it's probably too dark to really see. Let me see if I can get any light on it here. Let's see if it'll let me put the flash on. Doesn't look like it. So, all right. Yeah, the stump's mostly gone. So, and then here's the workpiece. And I think I'll take it down now and take it back over to the fire pit. And so, unplug the router. And put that away. I'll put it out of the way for now. Take off my little router sled. Take out my shims. And I'll just roll it over. A lot easier than carrying it. All right, it's definitely flat enough for someone to sit on. And get these plywood platforms out of the way. And move the sawhorses. And the main reason why I want to do this outside is this next step. You can see all the sawdust and shavings everywhere. This process makes quite the mess. which is way easier to clean up when it's outside versus in my shop. So thanks everyone for joining us on the live. I think that's it for now. Take care.